It's almost 3 a.m. and I can't sleep and I'm miserable, so let's take an Asperger's test, shall we? I made a video a couple months ago taking the empathy quotient test, and the video is more popular than I thought it would be. So I figure, that test made me think that maybe I have Asperger's and I had taken the Asperger's test before and it scored quite high in the probability. So, I'm gonna take it again, just for a video. Um, this one particular, it's, there. It's 150 questions, and here are the answers. You can do no, a little, or yes, or don't know. So let's do this. Question 1. Have you been bullied, abused, or taken advantage of? Put that a little. I did get a little bit of that, but not that much when I was younger. You misjudge how much time has passed when involved in interesting activities. Yes, often. The stuff that interests me is usually movies or politics or something like that. 3. Do you forget you are in you are in a social situation when something gets your attention? Um, no, I don't think I ever forget I'm in a social situation if I am. Do you tend to look at do you tend to look a lot at people you like and little or not at people you dislike? Yes, often. Why wouldn't you want to look at people you like? Do you recently heard tunes or rhythms tend to stick and replay themselves repeatedly in your head? Yes, all the time. I always have a song stuck in my head. Do you find it easier to understand and communicate with odd and unusual people than with ordinary people? Yes. Are you good at interpreting facial expressions? Um, hmm. I am if it's a character in a movie. In real life, I don't always take those cues, so I'll put a little. Do you need to do things yourself in order to remember them? Uh, I'll put a little on that one. Do you feel an urge to peel flakes off yourself and others? Not off of others, but I bite my nails, and so I get little flakes of skin from the side from biting them, and I always want to bite those off. So I'll call that a little. Mostly because if it was just myself, I'd put a lot, but I don't peel skin flakes off of other people. That's just weird. Do you talk to yourself? Yes, all the time. But I talk to myself as thinking out loud. I'm not talking to myself thinking I'm talking to someone else. That'd be crazy. um, do you avoid talking face to face with someone you don't know very well? Yes, all the time. I don't want to talk to somebody if I don't know, unless they're hot. But even then, I'd be too nervous to talk to them. Do you have difficulty filtering out background noise when talking to someone? No, I don't. Uh, 13. Do you or others think you have unusual eating habits? Yes, I am the world's pickiest eater. I might make a video solely about that, but yeah. 14. Do you dislike when people walk behind you? No, I don't. I guess that doesn't really bother me. 15. Are you gracious about criticism, correction, and direction? Not really. If I'm admitting that, no, not really. 16. Do you have a fascination with slowly flowing water? No. 17. Do you tap your ears or press your eyes? E.g., when thinking, when stressed or distressed. I press my eyes sometimes. I don't tap my ears. I don't do that. Sometimes I'll press my eyes. Usually if I have a headache or something. I'll put a little on that one. 18. Do you or others think that you have an unconventional way of solving problems? Maybe I'll put a little on that one. I'm not sure if it's unconventional. Well, that assumes I actually solve my problems. I usually don't. 19. Do your feelings cycle regularly between hopelessness and extreme confidence? No, I'm always hopeless. 20. Has it been harder for you to make it on your own than it seems to be for others of the same age? Yes. Granted, I live on my own and I have a fairly successful professional life, I suppose. I have a steady job. But I see people my own age, I'm 28 now, who are married and have kids, and I don't want to have kids, but I would like to meet a girl and everything and be happy in that sense, but instead I'm alone and miserable. Oh, which leads us to our next question. Question 21, are you prone to get depressions? Yes, very much so. 22, do you enjoy mimicking animal sounds? Meow. I'll put a little, I don't do it all the time. 23. Do you have unusual sexual preferences? Um, Does redheads and glasses, is that unusual? I don't think that's too unusual. I don't think... Maybe it's unusual that I have so many sexual preferences, but no, I'm not into anything particularly kinky or anything. Maybe I'll just put one a little bit, because some of my stuff might seem weird to others. 24. Do you tend to talk either too softly or too loudly? Yeah, I'll put that. People usually complain. Actually, people complain that I talk too fast. 25. Have you taken initiative only to find out it was not wanted? Yeah, actually. Sometimes I'll do something, be proactive, and think I'm doing something nice, and it ends up not being at all what I should have done. So yeah, I'll put very much on that one. 26. Do you need lists and schedules in order to get things done? Yes, actually, very much so. I love making lists. It's how I keep track. I just crossed out some things on this pad, but yeah, usually to help organize my thoughts and my to-do, I make a lot of lists. I'm a big list maker. 27. In conversation, you tend to focus on your own thoughts rather than on what your listener might be thinking. I'll put a little on that one, because sometimes I think I can't escape my own head, so obviously I'm thinking about what my own thoughts are, but sometimes I do try and think about how someone is receiving me, especially if it's a girl. 28. Is your sense of humor different from mainstream or considered odd? I wouldn't consider it odd or anything. My sense of humor is mostly informed by various comedic TV shows and movies, whatever. 29. Do you bite your lip, tongue, or cheek, or tongue, e.g. when thinking when anxious or nervous? I bite my lips all the time, which is why they're always chapped. Actually, I think you can probably see some like bruising or whatever from biting around here. But yeah, I bite my lips constantly. 30. Do people comment on your unusual mannerisms and habits? Yes. I'm very unusual. 31. Is it hard for you to see why some things upset people so much? Yes. I think I extrapolated a little bit more on that one in the EG video, so I won't hear, but yeah, sometimes. 32. Do you rock back and forth or side to side, e.g. for comfort, to calm yourself when excited or overstimulated? Yeah, I rock back and forth quite a bit, actually. I'm doing it right now. But especially if I get intoxicated or inebriated or drunk, I do it very noticeably. So yes, very much so. 33. Do you find the norms of hygiene too strict? No, not really. I don't mind showering and putting on deodorant. 34. Do you enjoy gossip? No, not particularly. 35. Do you feel an urge to correct people with accurate facts, numbers, spelling, grammar, etc. when they get something wrong? Yes, I do that all the time. And nobody appreciates it. Are your eyes extra sensitive to strong light and glare? Lately they have been, actually. 37. Have others commented or have you expressed yourself that you, or have you observed yourself that you make unusual facial expressions? No one's ever commented on that. 38. Do you sometimes have an urge to jump over things? No, not particularly. 39. Do you have problems finding your way to new places? Well, usually it's more due to my driving phobia than anything, but I'll put a yeah on that. 40. As a child, was your play more directed towards, for example, sorting, building, investigating, and taking things apart than towards social games with other kids? As a kid, my games were mostly just me playing with action figures, so neither of those really fit me. I guess I'll put one set halfway. 41. Are you somewhat of a daydreamer, often lost in your own thoughts? Well, it's not like I find myself daydreaming or anything, but I am often lost in my own thoughts. I'll put a no for that one, though, because I wouldn't consider myself a daydreamer. 42. Do you tend to say things that are considered socially inappropriate when you are tired, frustrated, or when you act naturally? Well, I do talk about boobs a lot, and that's not always socially appropriate, so I'll put yes on that one. 43. Are you hypo or hypersensitive to physical pain, or even enjoy some types of pain? I enjoyed getting my tattoo, And I used to cut myself, so yeah, I'll put a yes on that one. 44. In conversations, do you use small sounds that others don't seem to use? Merp. Me. Hmm. Yeah, I guess I probably do. Not often, but usually, whatever, I make noises. 45. Do you notice patterns in things all the time? Yes. I usually find patterns in people's behavior or just how cyclical just history is and how things we're doing now are similar to things that were done in the past. 46. Do you have extra sensitive hearing? Not that I'm aware of, no. 47. Are your views typical of your peer group? I'm not sure. Does my peer group mean my actual people I know, or does peer group just mean people in my general age and location? I'll put a 1 on that one, like a kind of, because not. I don't hang out with a lot of people who are socialist atheists like me. So. 48. Do you have problems with timing in conversations? Yes. Sometimes I cut people off or speak over them without meaning to. 49. Do you dislike it when people stamp their foot on the floor? No. Not in general. Have others told you that you have an odd posture or gait? Yeah, I have a really bad posture. You can probably see it near from sitting. I lean forward a lot. I kind of have a hunchback in some cases. I try to stand up straight, but it never works. It's mostly an odd posture when I sit, though. So, yes. 51. Do you wring your hands, rub your hands together, or twirl your fingers? Yeah, when I'm sitting, I do this. Which, I think I actually got it from a scene at the end of The Usual Suspects when Gabriel Byrne is doing it. But I do that, or yeah. Yeah. Just answer yeah. 52. Do you mix up digits and numbers like 95 and 59? No. 53. Do you enjoy team sports? No. 54. Are you sensitive to changes in humidity and air pressure? I'm not sure what sensitive means, because nobody likes it when it's humid. And I've been in airplanes and people notice air pressure. I'll put no, because I don't think I'm more sensitive than others. 55. Do you tend to become obsessed with a potential partner and cannot let go of him/her? Yes. I cannot count how many times I've been a victim of unrequited love and my fixation on someone who doesn't like me back. 56. Do you have problems recognizing faces? No. 57. Do you tend to get so absorbed by your special interest that you forget or ignore everything else? Yeah, if I'm interested in a movie or something. 58. Do you have a good sense of how much pressure to apply when doing things with your hands? Yeah, sure, I guess. 59. But before doing something or going somewhere, do you need to have a picture in your mind of what's going to happen so as to be able to prepare yourself mentally first? I'm messing up reading this stuff because it's 3 a.m. But yeah, I like to know what's going to happen before it, or prepare myself before it happens, sure. 60. Do you tend to express your feelings in ways that may baffle others? Not especially, no. 61. Do people think you are aloof and distant? I wouldn't say distant, no. Or aloof, for that matter. 62. Do you have problems filling out forms? Nope. I'm filling out a form right now, aren't I? 63. If there is an interruption, can you quickly return to what you were doing before? I'll put it somewhat on that one, I guess. I don't know. 64. Do you know when you are expected to offer an apology? Not always. I'll put a 1 on that one. 65. Do you have one special talent which you have emphasized and worked on? I actually don't have any talents, to be I've tried to do writing, but everything I write turns to shit. But, maybe I can put a yes on that one, then. 66. Do you prefer to wear the same clothes or eat the same food many days in a row? If I don't have to go anywhere, then yeah, I'll usually wear the same PJ pants and t-shirt. Food, yes, absolutely. I'm a very picky eater, and I pretty much only eat the same small quantity of junk food every day. And even if I'm not wearing the exact same clothes, my outfits are usually the same. Black jeans, black t-shirt, or black jeans and black hoodie. So, yes. 67. You often don't know where to put your arms. I'm gonna put no on that one. 68, do you fiddle with things? Yeah, sure. 69, do you have poor awareness or body control and a tendency to fall, stumble, or bump into things? Not really. Sometimes I trip over myself because I walk fast, but otherwise I'll put no. 70, are you naturally good at returning social courtesies and gestures? Nope. 71, do you stutter when stressed? Sometimes I trip over my words if someone catches me off guard, but in general, no. 72, do you find it difficult to take notes in lectures? Nope, I'm very good at note-taking. 73, are you often surprised what people's motives are? I'll put somewhat. 74, do you get very tired after socializing and need to regenerate alone? Yes. 75, do you tend to interpret things literally? I'll put somewhat, yeah. 76, do you have a monotonous voice? I don't think so. 77, do you get frustrated if you can't sit on your favorite seat? Sheldon from Big Bang Theory. No, not really. 78, are you bothered by clothes tags or light touch? I'll put somewhat. I usually am bothered by clothing tags, not like light touch, though. 79, do you have an interest for the current fashions? Nope. 80, is your sense of humor fairly conventional? I'll put somewhat. Yeah, I guess. 81, do you sometimes lie awake at night because of too many thoughts? Yes. 82, are you or have you been hyperactive? Nope, not particularly. 83, do you find it difficult to take messages on the phone and pass them on correctly? No, that's actually part of my job. I work in a call center. 84, do you repeat vocalizations made by others? Yeah, well, movie quotes, certainly. 85, do you pace when thinking or anxious? Yes. 86, do you have an avid perseverance in gathering and cataloging information on a topic of interest? Certainly movies, yeah. Various movie-related stuff. 87, do you enjoy meeting new people? Nope, not really. Unless they're hot girls who might want to fuck me. 88, do you find it difficult to figure out how to behave in various situations? Yeah, sure. 89, are you sometimes afraid in safe situations? Well, yeah, I'm an anxious person. 90, do you sometimes mix up pronouns and, for example, say you or we when you mean me or vice versa? No. 91, are you easily distracted? No. 92, do you see your own activities as more important than other people's? Well, they're more important to me, but I'll put somewhat on that one. 93, do you have a tendency to become stuck when asked questions in social situations? Sometimes. For instance, if somebody asks me a question, and even if I know the answer, sometimes I stumble over how to explain it in a way that the other person will understand, so I'll put somewhat. 94, do you have certain routines which you need to follow? Well, I don't need to follow them, but I do have a lot of routines, so I'll put yes. 95, do you tend to shut down or have a meltdown when stressed or overwhelmed? Yes, actually. 96, do you dislike being touched or hugged unless you're prepared or have asked for it? I'll put somewhat on there because I do like being hugged. But if it's just some random creepy guy trying to hug me, no. 97, do you have an atypical or irregular sleeping patterns that deviate from the 24-hour cycle? Sometimes. Like right now it's 3 a.m. and I'm awake, but in general I sleep for about 6 to 8 hours a night. 98, do you find yourself at ease in romantic situations? No, I do not. 99, do you find it hard to tell the age of people? Sometimes. 100, do you find it easy to do more than one thing at once? Sometimes. 101, do you find it hard to recognize phone numbers when said in a different way? Yeah, you have to have phone number rhythm. I'll put somewhat on that one, sure. Ba-ba-ba, ba-ba, ba-ba. 102, do you prefer to do things on your own even if you could use others' help or expertise? Yes. 103, do you often feel out of sync with others? Yes. 104, do you dislike it when people drop by to visit you uninvited? No, not particularly. Especially if they're girls. 105, do you enjoy walking on your toes? No, not particularly. 106, do you instinctively become frightened by the sound of a motorbike? No. I've ridden on the back of a motorbike. 107, do you need periods of contemplation? I'm not sure if I need it, but I have a lot of them. I'll put yes. 108. Do you have difficulties judging distances, height, depth, or speed? Yes. It's probably why I get into so many car accidents. 109. Do you instinctively know when it is your turn to speak when talking on the phone? I did mention I work at a call center, but it's not always. Sometimes I don't know when they're actually breaking to let me speak, so that's true. 110. Do you naturally fit into the expected gender stereotypes? Nope. I'm not a manly person. That's certainly that. 111. Do you suddenly feel distracted by distant sounds? No, not particularly. 112. Do you have difficulty accepting criticism, correction, or dirt? Wasn't this already a question? Yeah, sometimes I do. 113. Are you impatient and have low frustration tolerance? Low frustration tolerance, yes. Impatient, not always. Sometimes I'm more patient than others, so I'll put a somewhat on that one. 114. Do others often misunderstand you? Sometimes. 115. Do you dislike shaking hands with strangers? Actually, no. When I met Lisa Loeb, I specifically asked her to shake her hand. 116. Do you often have lots of thoughts do you find hard to verbalize? Yeah, sometimes. 117. Do people sometimes think you are smiling at the wrong occasion? Sometimes, yeah. For a guy who's so miserable as I am, I do smile a lot, weirdly enough. 118. Do you have trouble reading clocks? Yeah, actually, sometimes I do. That's why I like digital watches. That, and it seems like with people who wear regular watches, or they just round everything up to quarter past or quarter till. I like to know the exact time. I want to know it's like 4:53. 119. Do you find it easy to estimate the age of people? Wasn't that already a question? No, sometimes I have a hard time with that. 120. Do you find it natural to wave or say hi when you meet people? No. 121. Do you have problems starting and or finishing projects? Well, judging by the number of unfinished screenplays and novels on my computer, yes, I do. 122. Do you get confused by several verbal instructions at the same time? No, not particularly. 123. Do you mistake noises for voices? I used to when I was younger, but not so much anymore. I'll put sometimes. 124. Do you find it easy to describe your feelings? Yeah, actually. I've done enough blogging in the past for that. 125. Do you have strong attachments to certain favorite objects? Well, like Hugsy, my stuffed penguin? Yes, I do. 126. Do people often tell you that you keep going on and on about the same thing? Yes. 127. I thought about elaborating on that, but I don't feel like it. 127. Do you have a good sense for what is the right thing to do socially? No. 128. In conversations, do you need extra time to carefully think out your reply so that there may be a pause before you answer? So, yeah. 129. Can you easily remember verbal instruction? Yeah. 130. Do you drop things when your attention is on other things? No, not particularly. 131. As a teenager, were you usually unaware of social rules and boundaries unless they were clearly spelled out? Sometimes. 132. Are you naturally so honest and sincere yourself that you assume everyone should be? Yes. Well, everybody lies, as we all know from Dr. House, but in general, I prefer blunt honesty over lying any time, and I kind of wish people were more honest, but then, I don't know. It's not that I assume well, it says assume everyone should be, but not assume everyone is. I don't assume everyone is, but that everyone should be, I do feel that. 133. Does it feel vitally important to be left undisturbed when focusing on your special interests? Not particularly, no. Not unless someone's bothering me, but, yeah. 134. Do you have difficulties imitating and timing the movements of others, e.g. when learning new dance steps or in gym class? Huh. I'll put sometimes, only because I'm not really in a position where I'd have to imitate the timing and movement of others. 135. Do you tend to notice details that others do not? Yes. 136. Do you have difficulties with activities requiring manual precision, sewing, tying shoelaces, fashioning buttons, or handling small objects? Yes. I didn't learn how to tie my shoes until very late in life, at least according to normal, and even now I still have trouble doing so. 137. Do you dislike working while being observed? Yeah, actually. I'll put that, yeah. 138. Do you have difficulty describing and summarizing things, for example, events, conversations, or something that you've read? Not really. If I'm recounting like an article or something, not really. 139. Do you expect other people to know your thoughts, experiences, and opinions without you having to tell them? No. That'd just be stupid. People aren't psychic. 140. Do you find it disturbing or upsetting when others show up either later or sooner than they agreed? Yes, I'm a very punctual person. 141. Do you have an alternative view of what is attractive in the opposite sex? Some people might say so. People who find my glasses fetish to be odd, for example. 142. Do you find it hard to be emotionally close to other people? Most people in general, yes, but to a specific small number of people, no, so I'll put sometimes. 143. Do you find it very hard to learn things that you are not interested in? Yes, because if I'm not interested in them, then I don't want to learn them. 144. Do you have trouble with authority? Yes. 145. Do you become frustrated if an activity that is important to you gets interrupted? It depends on the interruption, but yeah, I'll put yes. 146. Do you enjoy watching a spinning or blinking object? Sometimes, I guess. Sure. I don't know. 147. Have you been fascinated about making traps? No, not particularly. 148. Have you been accused of staring? Yes, my best friend accuses me of it all the time. But it's mostly just because I'm actually listening to her. Also, she's pretty. 149. Have you had long-lasting urges to take revenge? Maybe wish fulfillment, or just wishes, yeah. 140. Has it been harder for you than others to keep friends? Yes. Calculate. It's calculating. Your Aspie score, 124 of 200. Your neurotypical non-autistic score, 85 of 200. You are very likely an Aspie. I'm not sure if that's the exact same score I got before, but it's pretty close to it. So, yeah. I do think I have this, but oddly enough is, I do think my social skills are sometimes better than in a normal Aspie's. It's because I can sometimes joke and stuff for at least a little while, but then I end up crashing. Alright, so I did that. Okay, so I did find my score from the last time I took this test. It was 120 of 200 for Aspie, and 81 of 200 for neurotypical, and that was what the little design looked like. And compare that with what I got this time. I'm higher on both of them, oddly enough. Anyway, I thought this part was interesting. Aspie talent. The group contains intellectually related Aspie traits. Typical traits are related to interests, e.g. having strong interests, hyper-focusing, having periods of contemplation, collecting information, good long-term memory related to interests, figuring out how things work, making connections between things, strong-willed, stubborn. Other traits are related to information processing, e.g. noticing details, finding patterns, unusual imagination, solving problems in unusual ways, unique ways. Some people have special talents, e.g. number, language, computers, music, diagnostic relation. None but a high score is related to giftedness. Your group score, 8.2 of 10, above average. Neurotypical talent. This group contains neurotypical intellectual talents. Often these are defined in terms of Aspie disabilities. Typical traits seem to be adaptations to cooperative living, e.g. giving and remembering verbal instructions, learning from others, describing events, summarizing events, taking notes, keeping track of several conversations, learning things on demand, learning by imitation. Other traits include multitasking and attention, e.g. doing several things at the same time, rapidly shifting focus, getting back to things quickly, getting a quick picture of one's environment, e.g. generalization, getting the overall picture, remembering where things are, grasping abstract concepts, and organizing daily life. Diagnostic relation, no direct, but many diagnoses like ADD and ADHD seem to be related to a low score. I had 6.1 average. Aspie compulsion. This group contains obsessive and compulsive Aspie traits. Typical of this group is a preference for sameness, e.g. routines, lists, schedules, sitting on the same seat, going to the same shop, wearing the same clothes, eating the same food, always doing things in the same way. Related traits include getting frustrated when interrupted and a need to prepare oneself before doing new things. Some people have strong attachments to objects and like to collect and organize things and may need precision and symmetry. Diagnostic relation, a high score is related to obsessive compulsive disorder. Your group score, 8 of 10. I never thought I had this because I don't wash my hands a lot. So that's usually why I do that. Neurotypical compulsion. This group contains socially related compulsive traits. Key traits are to enjoy social interaction, e.g. meeting people, involving others, games, crowds, large social networks, hosting events, being a leader, gossip, cheering. Other traits are related to social conformity, e.g. having views typical of peer group, preferring to socialize with others of the same age and gender, interest for fashions, wearing jewelry, wearing makeup, taking pride in one's appearance, style, image, and identity, status-seeking, climbing hierarchies. Diagnostic relation, none. Your group score, 2.1 out of 10, below average. Aspie social. This group contains Aspie social traits. Important traits are a highly variable activity level with higher than normal motivation threshold. Other traits include atypical relationship and courtship preferences, partner obsessions, not giving up on relationships, preference for friends of the opposite gender. All of my friends are women, by the way. And sexual preferences. Unusual eating and sleeping patterns, as well as having a hard time with authorities and social hierarchy are other traits. Diagnostic relation. A high score is related to ADD, ADHD, bipolar, and ODD. What's ODD? Your group score, 7.1 of 10, above average. Neurotypical social. This group contains neurotypical social traits. The absence of the traits is often described as a dysfunction. Key traits are adaptations for living in changing social groups, e.g. small talk, social chit-chat, shaking hands, saying hi, thank you, and sorry. Related traits are adaptations for socializing with strangers, e.g. being comfortable with strangers, enjoying talking face-to-face with strangers, maintaining large social networks, easy to get to know, talking in public, enjoying uninvited guests. Other traits are related to friendship and relationships and expressing feelings in a typical way, e.g. making and maintaining friendships and relationships, looking at people you talk to, enjoying hugs and touch, being emotionally close to others, describing and talking about feelings, and cooperation with others, using others' expertise, working while being observed. Diagnostic relation, a low score is related to social phobia. Your group score, 3.7 to 10, average. Actually surprised by that one. Aspie communication. This group contains communication related to Aspie traits. Key traits in this group are related to atypical nonverbal communication, e.g. odd facial expressions, odd posture, odd prosody, being accused of staring, using unusual sounds in conversations, blinking or rolling eyes, clenching fists, grinding teeth, thrusting tongue, blushing. I do a lot of those things. Related traits are stims, e.g. wringing hands, rubbing hands, twirling fingers, rocking, tapping eyes, pressing eyes, fiddling with things, pacing, flapping hands. I flap my hands a lot in my videos, you might notice. Biting self or others. I do like biting in sexual context, but I don't normally bite others. Chewing on things, picking scabs, peeling skin flakes, examining hair of others, singing. I do sing a lot, too. Tics are also here and are often confused with stims, e.g. stuttering, sniffing, snorting. I do sniff a lot. Snorting, coughing, echolalia, echopraxia. Other traits include general communication differences, e.g. not verbalizing thoughts, talking softly or loudly, turning words around, talking to oneself, odd pronunciation, and not separating I, we, and you. Some people also prefer to look a lot at people they like and not at all at people they dislike. Diagnostic relation, a high score is sometimes related to Tourette, but the primary relation is with stimming and unusual communication. Your group score, 7 of 10, above average. Neurotypical communication. This group contains nonverbal communication traits. A key trait is the ability to interpret and show typical nonverbal communication, e.g. facial expressions, body language, courtship, timing, reciprocity, turn-taking, prosody. The absence of these abilities leads to secondary problems, e.g. unaware of how to behave, unaware of boundaries, being misunderstood, missing hidden agendas, being unaware of others' intentions, misinterpreting figures of speech, idioms, and allegories, literal interpretation, and not knowing when to apologize, saying inappropriate things, seemingly poor empathy. A low score is related to autism spectrum conditions, ASC. Your group score, 3.6 of 10, average, but just barely average, I'm sure. Aspie hunting. This group contains passive hunting traits. One part of the traits is related to preferred habits, e.g. slowly flowing water, caves, woods, liking mist or fog. I like the woods. Another part seems to be close contact hunting traits, e.g. jumping over things, climbing, chasing animals. Well, I do chase a cat sometimes. Kitty. Biting. I already mentioned that. Enjoying spinning in circles. I do enjoy that. Strong grip, strong hands, physical endurance, enjoying rodeo riders. Some other traits are related to sneaking through the woods, sneaking up on animals, walking on toes, and general hunting tactics, mimicking animal sounds, digging, throwing small things, building traps, fascination for fire, sniffing. Diagnostic relation, none. Your group score 4.1 of 10. Yeah, because some of those, but not others I have. Neurotypical hunting. The traits in this group are related to cooperative hunting. These traits are often described in terms of dysfunctions. Typical traits are recollections of environmental information, e.g. positions of things, scores in games, order of words, letters and digits, map reading, and passing on information to others, e.g. passing on messages, knowing left from right, dates and times of events, remembering appointments and events, reading clocks and calendars, carrying over information between contexts. Other traits are related to trading and exchange with others, e.g. calculating change from a purchase, knowing what to bring to appointments, remembering sequences of past events, remembering formulas, filling out forms. Diagnostic relation, a low score is related to dyslexia and dyscalculia. Dyscalculia. I've never actually seen that word before. Your group score 5.9 of 10. Yeah, I don't have much of a problem with many of those. Aspie perception. This group contains perception-related Aspie traits. These traits commonly become disabilities, but their core seems to be more sensitive senses, e.g. touch, sound, tactile, smell, taste, light and glare, humidity, changes in air pressure, wind, heat, electromagnetic fields, or less sensitive senses, e.g. pain. Related to this are instinctual reactions to sensory information, e.g. being distracted by sounds, being afraid of motorbikes, being afraid of floods or fast-running stream. I'm afraid of floods because my apartment got flooded a year ago. Disliking stomping. Other traits are difficulty filtering out speech from background noise and using peripheral vision. Diagnostic relation, no direct, but autistics often have differences in perception. Your group score 3.8 of 10 average. Neurotypical perception. This group contains neurotypical motor abilities and perception traits. The absence of these traits is often referred to as clumsiness. A key trait is the ability to interpret spatial information, e.g. judging distances, speed and acceleration, keeping track of positions or of objects, predicting motion, concept of time, optimal pressure to apply. The absence of these skills leads to secondary problems, e.g. poor fine and gross motor skills, poor body awareness, poor body control, problems with ball sports, poor hand-eye coordination. I do have that. Poor balance, poor handwriting, dropping things. I have poor handwriting. Diagnostic relation, a low score is related to dyspraxia. Your group score 4 out of 10 average. Environment. This group contains traits that seem to be of environmental origin. Typical traits are related to stress and overload, e.g. shutting down, having a meltdown, and consequences of not fitting in, e.g. depressing, being bullied, being taken advantage of, low self-esteem, suicidal thoughts, harming oneself, mood swings. Diagnostic relation, a high score is related to many psychiatric diagnoses and is sometimes required in order to get a diagnosis. Your group score, 7.7 of 10, above average. Yep, not surprised by that. Oh, and that's the end of that. So yeah, I think I have Asperger's. The end.